Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at the Casio Pathfinder PAW2000, and just for comparison purposes I also have a PRW2500 and a good old-fashioned A158W, aka Terrorist Special. Okay, so starting with the subject watch, we just quickly go through all the main modes. Here's the home screen. Well, let's see, glare-free image here. So we got the barometric trend chart there at the top left, which can be cycled through either day of the week or year. I like to keep it on the trend chart. Then we got day, date, time, and seconds. Pretty simple home display. Looking a little closer, we've got P up there for PM, DST for daylight savings time. It's on automatic now. PS for power save mode, so if it doesn't see light for too long it goes into a battery save mode. And down here there's a block above the H, so you can see it's on high battery charge. Alright, next mode, you can see the analog pointer pointed to that. This is the sunrise sunset mode. So you can see here it points up. Sunrise was at 5:25 a.m. Sunset will be at 8:30 p.m. Here's the 5:25 a.m. and a 24-hour scale. If you look closely you can see very small numbers around the edge there. It's marked with a 24-hour scale. So one pointer for sunrise, one pointer up here for sunset. I need to get something better to point with, don't I? There we go. One up here for sunset, and then the flashing one is at current time. I think that's a pretty slick implementation. And now it tells you the date up here, July 14th, 2012, and we can go forward a day, day by day. You can see it's going to be 8:25. The next couple days it rounds down 5 minutes. Or I could go back, so as long as I have patience I can go back in time and check sunrise or sunset data for just about any day. So that's kind of a slick feature. And then these segments that say sunrise and sunset are only lit up in this mode. Record feature. So it's got an altitude recorder. For instance, if I summit Mount Everest and I say, okay, what's that altitude? And I hold the altimeter button down when I'm in that mode for a second, it'll store that and log it into this. So this is record number 1. It was 560 feet. It was July 13th at 2:59 p.m. Hitting this button goes to the next record, and hitting this one goes to the previous record. Got the world time. So right now in Taipei you can see 7:38 a.m. since there's no P over here, and then in the current home time zone 6:38 p.m. So you can see that once again the flashing pointer on the dual level LCD is the home time, and this is where I'm looking. Hitting the mode button, which is down here. Go to the stopwatch mode, which can indicate up to 24 hours. Here's hours, minutes, seconds. I think that'll start changing for hundredths. And then this is kind of cool, the time of day there. So this bottom right button starts it. This also stops it. This one here is split time or reset. Tells us it's in split time mode there. Stop it here. Reset. All the while displaying the time of day. That dual display is one of my favorite features of this watch. Timer. Now I don't know if you noticed when I went down to that there was an analog pointer here, and it lines up with these indicators here: timer, alarm, receiving, etc. So I've got it set for 50 minutes, 0 hours. Once again, this one starts and stops, and this one resets. Still shows the time of day there, so that's kind of nice. You don't have to cycle through modes in case you forgot what time it is. The alarm screen, we've got alarm 1. It's off. You turn it off or on by pressing this, and scroll through the different alarms forward or backward. So alarm 2, 3, 4, 5. Hourly time. You can have it on the 0 minute of each hour, or you can change it to be some other minute. Next, we've got the receiving indicator. So this just says the last time it received the atomic signal was on July 10th at 2:04 in the morning. One more press, we go back to timekeeping mode. From the timekeeping mode, we can hit this here. Nice metal buttons for the compass. Gives us a nice little animation and then says, okay, get down to business. So I'm approximately facing north. The triple needle here shows the north, number of degrees, and the time. So just kind of a nice compass. Works pretty well actually. Reads for a few seconds and then cuts off so as to not eat up too much battery. This middle button over here is barometer mode. It has a 10, down to 0, down to -10. It uses an analog pointer, but I don't know what that scale is relative to. 29.15 inches of mercury. The units are up here. You can also set it to hectopascals, which is the same thing as millibars. Shows us the temperature in this mode also. You can set that to be Celsius. Once again, the time of day here. Okay. Altimeter. This is the ABC mode that has the most functionality. Once I go into that mode, it starts a trend chart of this will do every 2 seconds, and it'll log that, log the altitude, time of day here, altitude right now in feet. You can see the 0 up here. That's a settable reference point. So if I'm up at the bottom of a mountain, I want to see how high I'm going to climb, I can just hit the adjust button down here. That'll reset the reference point up there for the next reading. And if I wanted to save this altitude as proof that I got there, kind of, then I would hold this down, the altimeter button. Tells me to hold it, which indicates that it's put it into the log mode. And then one push of the mode button takes us back to the timekeeping screen. And this is obligatory loom shot. Looks a little dim, kind of a short duration. It can either be 1.5 or 3 seconds depending on how you program it, but it's plenty bright to see what you need to see in the dark. Now, cosmetics and features, I'll show you side view, bottom view. These little winglets here kind of swivel so it can fit all different size wrists. It's got screw bars instead of spring bars, and you can see here these little tabs are the inside of the winglets. So if you take the winglets out, then it's 22 millimeters and you can fit a big NATO strap or whatever, or you can leave the winglets in there and fit an 18 millimeter strap. I'm thinking about getting a NATO for this, or maybe a 2-piece nylon strap so I can keep the winglets for my small wrist. Thickness, it's kind of a thick watch, but one of my other watches here, the 2500, for comparison, is a lot thicker because of mostly because of the rotating compass bezel. Some folks also like that compass bezel sticks up past the crystal, so that gives it some scratch protection. This one it's a little harder to see, but that crystal is slightly below flush from the chrome bezel here. So it's got some protection, but not nearly as much. The focus on this one is to have it be a little bit more dressy, you know, with the chrome bezel and the little more of a no-nonsense display, as opposed to trying to be all sporty and outdoorsy like this one. It's got a ton of different stuff on the screen at once. So I bought both of these. Couldn't decide which one to get, so I got them both, and I figured I'd return the one I decided not to keep. So I'm going to sell this one, 2500. I thought the moon phase would be cool. It is a very cool feature. I like it, but not enough to make up for the extra thickness and everything. This model is the 2000-1, which means it comes with the resin strap. Very sturdy, not quite as sturdy as a G-Shock strap, but it's sturdier than the ones on like a $25 model. And then just, I think everybody knows how thick these old school ones are. kind of a nice thin light watch. So you can see the 2000 is thicker than that by, I don't know, maybe 20%. But then you can also see how much thicker the 2500 is, which is the top one, compared to the 2000. On the wrist, strap this on for you real quick. I have a 6 7/8 inch circumference wrist, so you can see how this watch sits there. See, it kind of sticks up a little bit, but I think I can probably get this under a coat sleeve in the winter. Whereas if I go to this behemoth, got it sized for my wrist, that is a chunker. That guy really sticks up. I won't be able to do that in the winter here in Chicago. I've got a separate review on the 2500 also on my channel. Take a look if you're interested. Plan to do one pretty soon on the 158W. So there you have it. Casio Pathfinder PAW2000. There's a 2000T model with the titanium bracelet, which my 2500 has. This is a really nice feature. That bracelet feels great. It's lightweight, solid pins, solid links, doesn't pull hair. It's actually a little more comfortable than the resin strap. So if I were to do it again, I would get this model, but with the titanium bracelet. Of course, either one of those is better than the hair puller special on here. You can see it's got all kinds of little crevices that are just almost custom designed to pull hair. So there we have it, Casio PAW2000. Thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful.